Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back into this episode, very special episode of Unwritten. My name is Colin McGuire, your co-host, along with Jess Wilt. Jess, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Colin?
I'm fantastic. Do you want to introduce our guest, our very, very special guest?
We do have a very special guest today. We have Katy Orr-Dove. And Katy, what's your official title with the farm now?
I'm the general manager. I run the farm market here and a lot of the tourism aspects of what we do.
So obviously you're with Orr's Farm, and we wanted to have you on kind of have a fall themed episode because you guys have an exciting season coming up with apple picking and pumpkin picking. I guess where I wanted to start, for me, this would be the most exciting season, but how much do you look forward to the fall on the farm?
Pretty much the whole season is a build up to fall. It's our biggest season at the farm. Everything is coming in all at one time. Like we still have the summer crops, we still have peaches, but we're also overlapping with all of the apples and the pumpkin harvest and all of that. So this is our busiest couple weeks of the year.
Do you have to call in extra help for work? Do you have extra employees come in?
We kind of, steadily hire throughout the season. We do have a good many staff members that leave for college. So a good many went to WU this year. They kind of got to that age because we do hire teens. So when they get to that age, a lot of them go to college. So we've been hiring weekly to try to get ready, tractor drivers, tour guides, retail staff, bakery, making sure that we're fully staffed for the season.
We know there's a lot of little faces looking forward to picking out their pumpkins for the year and maybe going apple picking. What's it like being in that atmosphere and seeing all the families come in, the kids come in and just enjoy the farm?
I think that's our staff's favorite time of year for that reason. A lot of our tractor drivers, we have tour groups that come, like field trips, and the field trip leaders just love seeing the children's faces. It really just makes all the hard work worthwhile just to see their excitement, especially this year, I think, because last year a lot of them didn't get to come. So we're back on track. We do have a good many field trips booking with the different schools. So we're kind of excited to see that happening again. They probably need that little pick me up right about now,
Yeah, that's true. Now, do you have a favorite element when it comes to everything you guys offer? Something that you personally look forward to the most?
A season or just
the pumpkin patch or I don't know. I mean, there's a million things, I'm sure.
As far as fall goes, I'm really excited about Pick Your Own Apples coming up because we have been working on that for years now. We planted those trees over the last 4 seasons. We've been planting these dwarf trees, which are a special type of tree so the customers won't fall. They're not very tall. They're on trellises and they're absolutely beautiful because it's just straight rows, almost looks like a grape vineyard with all of these dwarf trees just everywhere you look, planted by variety, signs up on every variety so people know what they're picking and what the season is for them to be ripe. And, it's just been a labor of love for about 4 years. So it's really exciting to see the kickoff be this Saturday. And my dad did pass away in October, and this was kind of one of his favorite projects that he had worked on. He was so proud of it. So I'm sad that he's not going to be here to kind of see it come to fruition. But we're excited that we're able to see it come to pass, that we're harvesting now.
Your dad was actually something I wanted to bring up. I know you talked to our reporter Emily recently about the 2020 award that you guys won. And back when it was awarded, I spoke to him. He was so excited about it. Is this kind of been a time of reflection for you now that you actually have the award in your hands and the season coming up?
Yeah, he was, we get awards for different things here, and that's really not why we do what we do. We just love farming. But last year I just saw how much that award meant to him. And I think it's because he had the references, the referrals, all kinds of people from his lifetime wrote letters about him to recommend him for that award. And I think it was just more the fact that his friends, coworkers, professional people that knew him had, thought so highly of him. I think he was really flattered by that more than anything. And so it means a lot to me because I noticed that it meant a lot to him to receive that award. So we are going to the banquet in November to accept the award in his name. The whole family is going to go, and I'm excited to go. It's been a little bit of an emotional time for me because this time of year was his favorite. We were just talking last night. I came home a little teary. I would leave work at 8 o'clock a lot of evenings this time of year. The sunset, is happening, and there's just bins of pumpkins everywhere. And I remember a couple years ago, he would just be coming in truckload after truckload of bins of pumpkin, just in his glory, loving it, loving the harvest time, loving all the excitement of what's going to be out there. What are we going to bring in next? And so we're missing that a little bit this year, but we're trying to get through it. I know it'll get easier.
Your family, from what I understand, the farm has been going for almost 100 years now. Is that correct?
Almost. We started around 1954. My grandfather, George Orr, purchased his first farm, his first orchard. And he started small. And then when other farms in the area went out of business, he kind of bought adjoining properties. And so at our height, we were about 1,100 acres, and he had 3 sons. And we did split the farm a couple years ago. There was the other side of the family didn't want to do the tourism aspect. So our farm is about 550 acres now, and it was my dad and our family, that branch of our family. And we kept all the tourism items, like the farm market and the pick your own, and all of that kind of fell on our portion of the family.
Was there at any point in your life, did you want to do anything else? Was this always something you wanted to do and you were always going to do?
When I was a teenager, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think a lot of teens go through that. And my parents never wanted to push me into doing this because it's really a big commitment. And so they kind of let us make that choice for ourselves. So I went to college for horse training for a semester, and then I switched to elementary ed and finished out my degree at Shepherd with elementary ed and taught kindergarten for 5 years, and then came back to the farm because I missed it. And I think I always knew I'd end up back here, but I just didn't really know how to get here. So I do wish I would have gone to college for marketing or business management, but I find that my elementary ed degree really comes in handy with the training of the staff. I train a lot of staff here, like a lot of staff. Right, we have 80 staff members just in the farm market, and most of them are teens. So it's really been different because I did not ever see myself training teenagers. But it's really rewarding to kind of show them about the produce and try to teach them about farming and the commitment, sacrifice, the hard work. There's a lot of things I think most kids don't ever know about unless they work on a farm. So I'm thankful that I get to be part of that.
When you returned to the farm, you really took off with the tourism aspect, entertainment farming. Was there inspiration behind it, or was that just kind of where your heart lied?
The family had already planned to take off with the pick your own. When I was coming back, they had planted more pick your own items. And then I wanted to bring the school tours in just because I missed the little ones, the kindergartners. So we kind of added that whole aspect. And then we just were trying to do things that would bring the community in. We did some dessert competitions, we did festivals. And what I'm finding is the bigger we get, it's really a little bit difficult now to keep some of those events going. It's just so much work just to do a normal day here. So this year we did cancel our fall festival just because we found that every weekend here is almost like a festival now. We've got to get the slushy machines up and running. We've got to make sure the bakery counter is full with donuts. The tractor rides are always going. So I just wanted to make sure this fall that I was going to be able to keep up with pick your own apples and pumpkin patch all at the same time.
We keep kind of talking a little bit about everything that you guys offer, but we haven't really mapped it out. So can you kind of take us through everything that you guys have? You said, well, I'll just let you go, but what are all these things?
Okay, so right now we are a year-round farm market. So we stay open year-round, and we grow, our main 2 crops are apples and peaches. So right now we have both of those. We have probably 15 varieties of apples, and we have 3 varieties of peaches today. We have white peaches, nectarines, we have local corn. So we try to, if we can't grow it, we try to get it locally. And we have some great local food products that we get excited about and we want to share with others. Boulevard Bread Bakery brings us bread. Oh So Yummy Bakery brings us cakes and cupcakes. We have local dairy, local meat, local coffee from Black Dog. So we try to source food products and items like that from local vendors to help the community and kind of foster that buy local thing that it helps the local communities build up. Especially the last year, it's been really important for farms and for small businesses. And we do on the weekdays have field trips available. We have group tours for, like, let's say you have a pre-K group and you want to bring them to the pumpkin patch. You can find that information on our website. And then the patch is open to the public. Tuesdays and Thursdays we're open 9 to 5. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I think we open at 1 for the pumpkin patch for the general public. And then of course, Saturday and Sunday, we're open all day long. You do need a reservation. I do think it's going to be very busy. So if you can get online and make a reservation to come out to the pumpkin patch, that would probably be a good idea. And then we're doing weekends only for apple picking, just to make sure, with it being the first year, we want to make sure we have enough apples for everyone because the trees are kind of young. So Saturdays and Sundays, you can make reservations to come and pick. This weekend, we have Crimson Crisp, Jonna Prince, Golden Delicious, Honey Crisp, and I think there's one other variety that's out there for the weekend that people can come and fill their bags.
All the goodies you've mentioned kind of puts me back in a COVID mind, because I know you guys never really shut down the farmers market during COVID. Am I wrong?
No, for me, it was like, I have to find a way to make this work or we're going to lose our farm. And I think a lot of small businesses were in the same situation. Plus, I was looking at staff members all around me that I know need that income. So we kind of just switched some things around and did drive-through. And you can still do curbside ordering. I know as some of the Delta variant thing is going on, people are switching back to wanting to get curbside. We still offer that on our website, or you can call and order in and pick it up in a curbside spot. So that way they can still support local and get their favorite foods and feel safe at the same time.
I remember reading a lot of comments where people were so excited you guys were offering the drive-through and the curbside. What was it like seeing that support from the community?
2020, it was interesting because, as bad as and hard as things were, the community love was really strong. People were very thankful that we were here. It really showed me the importance of local farms because, we buy eggs off of a local farmer, we get our meat and dairy off local farmers, and we saw the trickle down effect, when the customers really support local, when they do business at a farm market like mine, and I'm buying things from all these other local people, they were helping so many families in our very community, and I really think for me, it showed the importance of food security. I told my husband this morning, I said, as hard as it is to be a farmer, I am not going to stop because for me, it's my food security. Like I know if I ever go to Walmart and their shelves are empty, I can come home here and I'm fine. I'm fine for months, because of what we have in our, coolers, cold storages, in our fields. That's my food security. And I hope the community sees the importance of that too.
What is a typical day like for you? Can you kind of walk us through your day? Are you up at 4 a.m, go to bed at midnight? Do you barely sleep at all? How does it go?
Well, we have a lot of staff here. We have 200 people working. So we all work different shifts. Me personally, I have 2 little ones. So I put them on the bus and then I come in. And my husband and I split things down the middle. We're partners in this, even though it's not his family of birth, he's such an important part here. And so he comes in and does the early shift and gets things rolling. And I come in at 9 and then I stay late. So sometimes I can't think when all of, the teenagers and everybody's knocking on my door. So when the store closes at 5, I'll stay a little bit and try to finish out, the little things, the desk work. But I'm running the market mostly and kind of keeping an eye over the bakery. I do some of the purchasing. I do all the hiring and scheduling. Try to do the PR, so that, when people have questions, especially this time of year, people are so excited about events on a farm. Back in the old days, I used to go out and help with the harvest, but I don't go out and help pick anything anymore because it's just too busy here at the farm market. And then just making sure the tours and everything runs smoothly. We have guests that start showing up right about 9. So just making sure that everything runs smoothly is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mentioned harvesting. Do you have a product that you absolutely hate harvesting? Because my family I know is potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes, we don't grow those for that reason. We buy them off a local farmer. It's a dirty job for sure. I know a lot of the gentlemen don't love picking peaches because of the buzz, and the heat. In the middle of the summer, they get itchy. And some of the staff here, the teens will come in and they'll say, oh, we just hate sorting peaches. And I'm like, for me, that's so relaxing, compared to other things I have to do. I just love to sort peaches. But my favorite thing to harvest was tomatoes. I used to love helping with tomato harvesting just because, those are like your babies, right? Your prized tomatoes. And I used to love to see, go out there and pick them every other day and see those come in.
Is there a set, like, does it ever make you nervous? Like you said, when the pandemic began, you couldn't shut down. You had to figure out a way to think on your feet and continue to move on. You kind of being self-sustaining and having that sort of pressure to keep going, does that make you nervous?
So if you want to be a farmer, you have to take a certain amount of risk, right? And I do not like risk. I'm a planner. So that's a lesson that I've learned in 16 years of farming. My dad was a very calm man. Like, he would never get shaken about anything. And I would be like, Dad, we got to plan this. We got to know what to do about that. And he'd say, Katy, it's all going to work out. And I'd say, well, why can't we figure out what we're going to do about pumpkin patch? And he says, we're not ready to talk about that yet. It's a couple weeks away, So he was always like so calm. And so what life has taught me over the 16 years of farming is that you can't worry about every little thing. You just have to have faith. Like, I'm very faithful in God, and I just pray a lot and try to be calm. And we have such a great group of people here too that I just bounce ideas off of. Like, some of these people that I work with are just so wonderful. They're like our family. And so we brainstormed last year when we saw things kind of coming down the pike with the COVID shutdowns. We just started talking to each other and like, what can we do? And just that sense of community amongst our coworkers. It's so helpful, because sometimes things that they're thinking about, I've forgotten, or vice versa. It's nice to have that group of people that care as well and will share ideas with you. And like, I couldn't have gotten it off the ground without them, But yeah, it's very stressful. Like, every day is stressful. There's always curveballs coming our way. And I think it helps too that my husband's working here with me, because like, if we didn't work here together, he would never understand it. He'd never understand when I have to stay till 7:30 to finish, cleaning things up, or he would not understand the stress of it or the different things that are rattling me that day. It's nice having that partner that's in it with you, because you can go home and like say, oh man, that's super hard today, and then we laugh about it and try to let it go, But you're right. That's a good observation. It's a very, you have to be able to go with the flow and like some risks.
Yeah.
Colin mentioned how long the farm's been in your family, and I know splitting the farm was and doing it successfully was kind of a driving force in receiving the Master Farming Award. How proud are you that the family's been able to keep this legacy going for so long?
It's something I really can't explain to other people, what the farm means to me. And it's just something that I know I'm supposed to keep doing. And I told my dad, like, we shared the same heart. This farm is our heart. We shared that. That was something that we had in common. And I know that I'll do it as long as I can, and I hope that I can pass it down to my kids. The split of the farm for me was really hard because it's always been my security. This farm has just been here forever, and my family was always around. And that really threw me a bit, a couple years ago. It kind of felt like a divorce, and the fact that things were getting split. And that was really hard. And you have to learn how to hope for blessings for the other side of the family, like the ones that have gone and left and done something different. You have to not fault them for that, because it is a totally different lifestyle. And if you don't want to be here every weekend with the tourism aspect of things, you can't be mad at other people for not wanting to do that, because it's a really big life commitment. So I've had to sit back on that from a couple of years and kind of learn how to pray blessings for that, for those people, that it's not their fault to not want to do it. And it is a lot of pressure. I do hope that this farm stays here forever, but if not, I know that there's going to be something great that we're meant to do. And I just try to, to go with that in faith.
You ever get a vacation?
We do. I've learned that too in the last couple, years, especially that life is not just work. So we go in the winter. We'll go. We love to go to Tennessee. We'll go to Canaan Valley for a week. But we can't go. We don't go to the beach a lot because summer's so busy for us that we don't really. There's just certain times of year it's more work to go away than not. So we tend to vacation in the off season, which we do have like November and December are somewhat quiet here. And January and February and March aren't too bad. So that's usually our fun time of the year.
I was reading about your dad wanting a herd of bison on the farm, which is something I didn't know. Can you tell us that story?
Oh gosh. We did butt heads a few times, he and I. And so they had come back from a trip. They went out west and went to Yellowstone Park, and they saw the bison out there, and he was just enamored. He loved animals. He was meant to be an animal farmer. So he came back and said, I want to get a herd of bison. And he brought back this book about lawsuits from Yellowstone National Parks. And there was a chapter on the grizzly bears and a chapter on the bison and a chapter on the geysers. And I read that book. And then he says he wants to get bison. And I'm like, you realize how dangerous those are, right, Dad? And so he really wanted it. So we did it. And we would butcher some of them for the meat. We did the jerky. And then the customers would come in and see them. And we'd have the babies every spring. For me, it wasn't I did not enjoy it. I would always worry about the safety aspect of it. And the customers really that loved them, were sad to see them go. We did sell the whole herd to a farm in Maryland. We were able to sell them all to the same farm. So they went as a herd when they left us. But I was really glad to see them go, because you never know with an animal like that that's unpredictable and wild. Like, I wanted to do more field trip tours down there with the, how we have the pumpkin patch now in the barnyard. That's really what my vision was to like have cute, cuddly little animals, baby calves or sheep or things like that, the customers could interact with and the kids could get up close to, which is what it is now. And you couldn't have that with the bison because they just don't get along with any other animals. So yeah, I was super glad to see them go.
Do you have a favorite animal?
We love the mini horses. That's my personal favorite. I like the goats.
See,
I'm not a bird.
Jess loves goats.
I
Jess
do.
is good.
I have 5.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the kids love the baby goats. They're so funny and comical. And then I like the peacocks. They wander all over the place, but the baby peacocks are adorable. We had one last year that we named, I can't remember what they named him, but they would follow the people that worked there around all day. And, he would show up everywhere.
Colin, I found a new best friend because peacock is on my list of animals I want.
Peacock, it is. Do you know what? How do you take care of them? Is there special peacock food? Do they have a peacock house? How does this go?
They have, our peacocks are free range peacocks. They go where they want to go. And we do that because, there are predators still in our area, like foxes and things that'll come out at night. So we've not clipped their wings. That way, if something comes along, they can fly up in a tree. But there's chicken houses and barns down there that they roost up in the rafters at night. They'll fly up in the rafters and sit where it's safe. And then they come down during the day and they feed them. I think they eat the same thing as chickens. My sister and my barnyard manager, Tammy, they run the barnyard. So I don't feed the animals myself, but I know they eat the same thing, I think, as other poultry.
You listed some of the local businesses that you guys support through the farm market, and I love most of them. Do you have a favorite item or treat that you like to pick up from the local vendors?
Oh so yummy. Jolene, she brings me cake slices every time she drops off her delivery. So I have cake for lunch at least once a week, thanks to Jolene. And I do drink a lot of Black Dog coffee. I love the ice cream that we sell. We sell South Mountain Creamery ice cream, which I love, and Homestead Farms Creamery. They have a lemon crunch ice cream that I'm a huge fan of. The pepperoni rolls by Oh So Yummy are delicious. We sell a lot of pet treats from Zeb's Barky Bites. They're out of Charleston, West Virginia. It's a little boy and his mom. We sell the heck out of those. And the local soap from Wild Rose Soap, I use that. That's a really good product. So yeah, if we don't we only bring it in if we like it, we'll test everything out.
Well, that's kind of a good segue into what we like to do to wrap things up, Jess, unless if you have any other questions.
You're good, go ahead.
So we usually, to end things, we ask a few fun questions, like, Jess just asked what your favorite vendors are and all of that.
Mhm.
So if you're up for it, we got a few more and then we'll wrap this up. Now, I'm curious to know, first of all, if you have a favorite candy bar.
Well, we don't sell candy bars here, but like he's
Heath bars? Okay. That's a solid choice. Do you like Heath in ice cream sometimes? Heath bars in ice cream?
yes, I actually had that last night. I'm totally a sugar addict, so
When you're not on the farm, what's your favorite thing to do for a hobby or just to relax?
I love horses. So I ride horses a lot. I keep a horse at a barn and I just go there on my days off and just spend a couple hours by myself in the quiet.
What is your favorite flavor of potato chip?
We sell Route 11 potato chips. I like salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar. Those can be very vinegary.
Yeah.
Very, very vinegary.
I have to make it feel.
You were mentioning books earlier. Do you have a favorite book?
I don't read a lot. I listen a lot on like Audible. I listen to a lot of online sermons in the morning. I follow some different pastors, and usually that's what I listen to in the morning. But I barely sit still because I'll fall asleep. You know, after a long day at the farm, if you try to sit down and read, it's like lights out.
If you were not working on the farm and you also weren't a teacher, what would be a profession that you would want to pursue? What's something that nobody knows you would love to do, like be a rock star or something?
We have a dream. My husband and I've been working on here at the farm. We feel very called to someday have like a family rehabilitation camp. So one day in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see us do something crazy. And maybe that it's so therapeutic to come to a place like yours. And there's a place, I think, one day for an orphanage or a family rehab camp where you can teach families how to, heal and get back together and form relationships and stay off their video games. And so that's a dream of ours one day, possibly here for the long range.
How did you and your husband meet?
Oh gosh, this is very cliche. We met at the fair. I mean, it's as cliche as it comes. It could be a country song. So I had a booth set up and I was selling peaches, and he had a booth in the commercial building and he was selling insurance. And he came over for a peach sample, and the last day of the fair, I left him a little basket of peaches with my business card on them. Wink, wink.
Man.
Smooth.
For a farm tour, and I just reeled him in. So we joked. He used to have a cushy desk job, and I like lured him in, and now we're just working ourselves to pieces over here. We joke about it.
Do you have time to watch television at all?
We don't honestly watch a lot of TV. We do fall asleep as soon as we lay down. Like we'll never, if we have insomnia, there's a problem, Sit down. We have children, so like in the evening, by the time we come inside and get them ready for bed, it's like the day is done because we have to get up so early to start again. So I do think that farming keeps you out of trouble because you stay on a very tight schedule and you don't have a lot of time to do anything, so I don't spend a lot of money. I don't shop too much. I don't drink too much, you can't do both.
Do you cook? Do you have a favorite recipe that you love?
Yes, we love to cook. I am not a big baker, but I love to cook regular food, and I love to cook Italian food. So some of the tomatoes that we grow in the summer, like the opalcas, we'll cook those down and throw some fresh basil in and make sauce. Sometimes we do like a roasted tomato and then turn it into a pasta sauce, like a marinara sauce. A lot of times I'll bring home peaches or apples and make like crisps or cobblers, but it's limited this year.
Do you have a favorite sport?
we're not big sports people. We play tennis sometimes. Like I said, I do ride horses a lot. And the kids, they're up for anything. We like to go to parks. We like Canadian Valley is one of our very favorite places to get a cabin. We'll take our dogs and walk our dogs and hike and let the kids ride their bikes. That's just such a gorgeous place. And now that they have quarter H, you can be there in like an hour and a half. We like to go to Seneca Rocks and day trip and hike to the top of Seneca Rocks, that kind of stuff, just kind of getting out just for a day, see some of the parks in West Virginia that are so amazing, and just get outdoors a little bit.
Do you have a favorite place you would want, or a place you would want to travel to that you haven't been to?
Yes, there's a lot of places I'd like to go. We used to travel a lot when I was younger, but the last couple of years we've just been so busy. I've got my eyes on like Wyoming and Montana. I just think it looks so amazing, and I've never been there. And I haven't been to New England since we were little, and we'd love to go up to like Maine and Vermont and just kind of see how that's changed. And no desire to really leave the country right now. I'd be nervous about that personally, but maybe go to like England. It would be neat to check out Ireland, Scotland one day, but maybe not at this very second.
I got one more. Are you good, Jess?
You're good. You can wrap it up.
We'll get you out of here on this. Which do you prefer, steak or seafood?
We're seafood people.
Seafood. Oh man, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's a shame. So before we go, do you want to tell the people what the website is and how they can get a hold of you if they want to book anything or come visit?
We're at orrsfarmmarket.com, just like our last name, ORRS, orrsfarmmarket.com. And if you go on the website under events, there's a link there for pumpkin patch, and there's a link for pick your own. And you can just make a reservation for the family to come out. And then there's hay rides included in the pumpkin patch. They take a hay ride down to the farm and see the animals and get their pumpkins. And the pumpkins included too. We have 3 packages, and so depending on which package you choose, it tells you what size pumpkin you're getting. So that makes it nice. Some farms charge you for the pumpkin as well, like on top of the price. So
that's a great deal. And now that we're in the fall, this is the only place you should go. Just go buy all their seafood, I guess. Buy all the seafood that assuming you have seafood. But Katy, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.